let's talk about delivery route planning. And I want to insist on the fact that whether you're driving a cargo van, you're driving a truck, or you're driving anything in between, you need to really plan your delivery routes because the proper planning can really help you in terms of saving money. You can make more money in terms of loads. You can deliver faster, and you can also choose the shorter paths to delivery. So it's really important. Now, when it comes to delivery routes, you can use software or you can do things manually. So in today's conversation, I want to really talk about the manual part of things, but also the software part of things. I want to insist on on the manual part of things because not every delivery driver actually wants to use software or even has the resources to subscribe to software, paying 50 grand, I mean $50 or $100 every single month. Okay, so this is important. Now you can plan routes manually. Don't get me wrong, but the process is difficult and time consuming. And automated delivery route planning speeds up deliveries and saves money big time. So, how do you plan delivery routes manually? Let's first talk about that. The thing is that manual route planning is actually an outdated method of route optimization because if you think about it, they back in the days, back in the 60s, back in the 70s, delivery drivers were planning routes anywhere at that time. Okay, so but the thing is that today with the emergence of apps, with the emergence of so many software tools, or even with the emergence of artificial intelligence, you have a new way of planning delivery routes. Okay, but some drivers are still planning their routes manually. So manual route planning begins when the first order is received, either by a customer in the store or online. Okay, and this task is often left in the hands of a single individual. And what happens here is that the manual routing process begins with customer orders, and they may be written down on pieces of paper as delivery invoices, which contain information such as the delivery address and notes on the preferred delivery date or time. And often, those paper records are stored in folders or filing cabinets, which can clutter a workspace. And so, what I've seen is that some businesses may organize invoices with an Excel sheet to actually avoid some problems. Okay, so regardless of the way you do it, you have to understand that you have the possibility to improve the process. So the thing is that once orders are received, okay, no matter how they are stored, you have a dedicated route manager who actually sorts them into different groups, let's say based on factors noted on the invoice. And also, most likely, the delivery route planner will organize them by date and region. Let's say you have customers in Florida, you have customers in Illinois, you have customers in North Carolina, customers in New Mexico, customers in California. So it really depends, okay, the date and the region. So this is kind of cool. Now, the route planner can use these groups of orders to begin finding the shortest routes from one delivery location to the next, okay? And they can do this by entering delivery addresses into a map to get driving directions and estimate the travel time between stops. Okay, you can see that this is I would say this is an involved process, okay? Then what happens here is that the route can be assigned to a driver to execute and complete the deliveries. Now, there are some downsides of manually planning delivery routes, okay? And I want to share with you a few of them. The first one here is that you won't get the fastest route because you might be thinking, well, I'm following my own calculation to get the fastest route, but now that may not happen because manual route planning requires you to consider a lot of factors, too many to be accurately assessed if you have more than a handful of deliveries to route. Okay, and you will need to account for things like standard traffic patterns in the region you're delivering, whether that may cause delays and the time, okay, the time it takes to complete a delivery. So that's a lot to consider, especially when factors like traffic patterns or weather can change on a dime. So that's important to think about. So these factors can have a big impact on your deliveries. So, I mean, if you think about weather conditions, for instance, I mean, if you have a rain or you have a storm or you have a snow, for instance, this can increase traffic delays by as much as 20 to 30%, according to research. So that can be really, really huge. Another drawback of manual planning, manual delivery route planning, actually has to do with the geographical approximation. In other words, you may have incorrect or incomplete addresses that could lead to time lost on deliveries. So, when mapping multi stop routes manually, every order and delivery provides an opportunity for a human error because, see, the thing is that you can't really predict certain things, okay? And so, if you are involving, let's say, human beings in the process, you got to really expect some errors. This is just the way it is because nobody's perfect, right? So one missing or incorrect detail can throw the rest of the day's plan into chaos, especially when you have interconnected deliveries. If you have deliveries in a single area, let's say in a metro area, and let's say you are doing deliveries in the LA metro area, if you miss one delivery, this can have an effect. You can have a domino effect on the rest of the deliveries in that area. For example, if an address has an incorrect house number, a driver may waste time looking for a house that doesn't exist, delaying the rest of the day's delivery, and using up more fuel than may have been budgeted. So, delivery drivers have limited resources for troubleshooting those types of problems while on the road. And also, one thing you need to understand is that delivery drivers have to manage their energy too, because if you waste, quote unquote, if you waste a delivery driver's energy mass and energy level on little errors like this, by the end of the day, he or she will be tired big time. I mean, if he or she is scheduled to work on 10 deliveries or 20 deliveries, and one delivery is taking 1 hour out of the working hours, imagine how much energy he or she would have for the rest of the delivery. So that's important, okay, to actually to actually s- to manage the delivery mass, what I call delivery mass of your delivery drivers. Another drawback, another downside of manually planning delivery routes has to deal with human resources. So you may have too many deliveries and too little manpower because you're doing things manually. You have no oversight, no bird's eye view of the kind of work that is actually expected during the day. Okay, so along with accounting for all your deliveries and where drivers will complete them, you need to consider your available drivers and their schedules because if you have like the more drivers you have, the more complexity you are instilling in your let's say in your fleet's what I call your fleet's programming. Okay, so if you don't account for factors that could derail whatever drivers are working on, you may end up with more deliveries than you are realistically able to complete. Okay, you have to understand those drivers, they have their work quota cut out for them too, right? And they have to make sure that they are completing them to be able to be high performers. So, but the thing is, you do not want to overwhelm them, and because if you overwhelm them, going back to what I said a little earlier, their energy will be depleted, and this is not going to help you over time. So you are going to have a what I call a low scale of performance. After all, you cannot overwhelm not one driver with unlimited stops. You need to ensure you have the manpower to complete the deliveries on every single day. Okay, so planning becomes more complicated when drivers take time off or change their availability. Okay, even more problematic with 40 to 50% of employees stating that they took a sick day during a 12-month period, okay, last year, you will inevitably be faced with a last minute driver shortage, okay, especially when you are planning those high competition, high intensity deliveries. So when that happens, when you have those last minute, time off request, you will have to replan the day's deliveries at the last minute, which may not be possible depending on the complexity of your delivery routes. Okay, especially once again if you are serving those large, high intensity metro areas. So one thing I want to say also is that when it comes to another downside of manually planning delivery routes, you have to understand that delivery time windows and vehicle capacities could also be a problem. Okay, I mean the thing is that and this has to do with the complexity of the delivery network you are serving, but also the target audience. In other words, those shippers, those customers, what are their expectations? What are their requests? Okay, and what kind of deliveries do you have to haul in the first place? Because the way you haul hazmat is not the same way you haul regular deliveries. The way you haul perishables is not the same way you haul regular deliveries. The way you haul reefer loads is not the same way you haul regulars. Okay, so this is important. And on top of that, some customers may have a specific date or time preference for their delivery. So let me give you an example. The customer may want their delivery to be completed at a time when the driver for that route is scheduled to be in another area, which makes it, if you think about it, makes it very complicated, very, very, very difficult to plan an optimal route. But you have to understand at this point, you have to ask yourself, do you want to really fail to meet? Do you want to fail to meet customer expectations, or do you want to really take care of your driver's safety, your driver's health? Okay, because one thing for sure, failing to meet customer needs can be costly to your business because the delivery experience is actually a make or break factor for the vast majority of customers when deciding whether or not to purchase from a company again, right? And the last thing you want is to actually have customers asking themselves whether they should be buying from you, whether they should be hiring you to actually, complete a certain delivery. Okay. I mean, you could try to address a customer's needs by assigning the delivery to another driver. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. And that's a good thing. But that won't work if your other vehicles, other trucks, other cargo vans, other step vans are not able to carry more weight. So, along with every other detail to consider, manual route planning requires you to account for the payload capacity of every delivery vehicle, and overloading a vehicle, overloading a truck, overloading a cargo van, a step van, or any other type of van or a box truck with more than its payload capacity may lead to fines for regulatory non-compliance, as well as maintenance and repairs. So that's for the manual side of things. Let's talk about software here. So the thing is that if you think about software, you have a different situation, and let me explain. So let me first define for you what a delivery route planner is. So if you think about a delivery route planner, I want you to think about an app or a piece of software that's actually specifically designed to plan delivery routes and schedules for couriers or delivery fleets. Okay, and delivery route planners are different from free route planner apps like Google Maps or Waze that can get you from point A to point B, but can't handle the addition of many stops or optimize routes for the fastest delivery. So it's important. So you want to have software that can help you from order reception to delivery completion, eliminating all of the risk factors involved with manual planning. Okay, so that's an important element. So if you think about delivery software, for instance, you're able to have a system that accounts for all workflow constraints and criteria, that helps you reduce fuel cost and maximize daily deliveries, that also has a real-time order tracking and upfront notifications that are sent to customers ahead of delivery. Let me explain. So when I say accounting for all workflow constraints and criteria, basically what happens here is that if you utilize route planning software, you are directly or indirectly eliminating the hassle of evaluating all of the delivery data by doing it for you. So this is kind of cool. For instance, you will enter information like driver schedules, break times, and vehicle payload capacity on the vehicles that need to be routed. So after importing deliveries into the system, basically the software can automatically create an optimized route that considers all of your unique delivery considerations. And that's what you want. You want to have that level of specificity. So when I speak about reducing fuel cost and maximizing daily deliveries, what happens here is that the software can look for the most efficient delivery route by analyzing the time it takes to complete a delivery and the travel time between drop-off locations. Okay, more efficient routes help you save money and allow you to complete more in less time by reducing fuel consumption and travel time between deliveries. So that's really cool from a flexibility point of view. Also, when you think about planning delivery routes with software, one advantage here is that you have a piece of software that offers that helps you, at least that gives you proof of delivery and live ETA. Like, and this is something that customers love all the time. And the piece of software also tracks drivers live and analyzes their performance. So when I speak about proof of delivery, POD, and live ETA, I mean, providing your customers with updates throughout the delivery actually is really good because if you think about it, if you're trying to really build a great customer experience, basically you want to really have that sort of POD and live ETA. Okay, so live ETA shows you exactly where drivers are and when they will arrive at the delivery location. So when a delivery is completed, drivers can enter details from the delivery, snap a photo, or even collect a signature for the delivery directly within the app. So this actually provides a complete record and proof of delivery, allowing you to immediately investigate if a customer calls with a question or complaints about their order. Okay, this is kind of cool. So at the first sign of trouble, you can instantly pull up the proof of delivery to view the details and can begin working to resolve actually the customer issue without having to track down drivers to get their version of the story. You also are able to track drivers live and analyze their performance. So what happens here is that you can see where your drivers are and you can see the progress they have made on the day's deliveries. So with this information, you can ensure that drivers complete deliveries on time and check the proof of delivery notes to ensure that the delivery was successful in the first place. Okay, so that's kind of cool because at the end of the day, the overwhelming number of factors to consider make manual route planning impractical and ineffective. Okay, so that's why you want to really think about implementing routing software to automate the planning process and save time while improving your delivery operations. So this is something that you have to keep in mind, especially if you want to scale your delivery operations. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to plan delivery routes. I spoke about the top trends and also the software. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.